Belonging is the feeling of security and support when there is a sense of acceptance, inclusion, and identity for a member of a certain group. In class, we read an article written in 2008 about the retention rate of Native American students in higher education. We were introduced to the family education model. It suggests that replicating the extended family structure within the college culture enhances an American Indian student's sense of belonging and consequently leads to higher retention rates among American Indians. Raphael Guillory and Mimi Wolverton. Initially, when I read this article, I had a different mindset. I had not felt a sense of belonging at the University of Arizona, nor had I felt it throughout my earlier education. So, when I read this article, I had my disagreements. I thought if you want something bad enough, you will go after it regardless of the support you receive. After I joined Native SOAR, I realized how wrong that mindset was. The support you receive from finding a sense of belonging on campus makes a huge difference in your education. My name is Hailey. I'm a microbiology major at the University of Arizona, and I'm pre-physician's assistant. I'm a junior, and I completed my first 3 years of college at GCC, where I received my associate's in science with emphasis on biological sciences degree. I am native to Phoenix, Arizona, and I've been in Tucson attending U of A for around 8 months now. I joined Native SOAR because I found it in the class search. It filled one of my general education requirements and looked like a class that I would enjoy because it would give me an opportunity to work with other students. When I first joined the class, I was afraid that I'd feel out of place. I had never mentored before, so I was fearful I wouldn't know how to mentor students and be able to give them guidance. In an article written by Symphony Oxidine, Deborah Taub, and Elise Kane, it said, "Mentoring can contribute to each of the 4 dimensions of mattering, providing attention, importance, ego extension, and dependence. Mattering is an important component of a sense of belonging." Strayhorn 2012. Although I was originally scared that I would not be a good mentor, I learned that the material we presented in our sessions were not as important as showing up every week, being present, and trying to learn about each student. As the article suggested, feeling like someone cares about you and your future makes all the difference when it comes to aspiring for higher education. In the Native SOAR class, I immediately felt welcomed. Straight away, we started to get to know our peers, and I remember thinking it felt different from any of the other classes I had been in. I remember getting fry bread one week during class and afterwards calling my mom excitedly because I had grown up with my family making fry bread, so I was surprised to be eating it away from home. After that week, Native SOAR slowly started to feel like a safe space. Although the goal was to help mentor others, the class helped mentor me. I started to develop a sense of belonging, which, like I previously mentioned, I had never felt throughout my education. When you feel welcomed into a space that is not your home, it helps guide you and can help you succeed. I started noticing that my days got easier knowing that I had a little extra support if I needed it. It also helped make the whole college experience seem less daunting. I was excited to go to class instead of dreading it. I loved the sense of community the class had brought me and the difference it had been making in my education. My new sense of belonging made taking on another semester away from home more attainable. In an article by Amanda Tachin, Nolan Cabrera, and Eliza Bird, when asking students about college and their sense of belonging, one student mentioned how it is difficult not having a sense of belonging during hard times in college. The student Hannah said that during difficult times, her family, who she receives encouragement and strength from, were not near. This represents the peoplehood model, which tells us how people can unite and strengthen each other. Personally, in times of stress, I miss home the most. Having people around to encourage you, feed you, clean for you are all things that seem unimportant but make a huge difference in your success. It gives you a moment to breathe and focus on assignments and deadlines while you're being taken care of. Although finding a sense of belonging during college is not the same thing as having familial support, it is the next best thing. People to support, guide, and encourage you when you're feeling stressed and don't have your family near. Speaking of families, my dad is Caucasian and my mom is Spanish and Native American. Growing up, I spent a lot of time with my mom's side of the family since my dad is from Iowa. I grew up rich in culture, always learning and doing new things, especially from my grandparents. Although I love where I come from, the reason that finding a sense of belonging has been so difficult for me over the years is because I am multiracial. Finding a sense of belonging is challenging when you can belong within multiple racial communities. Usually you end up in no community because you're not similar enough to any of them. One week in class, Vince Flores, who is Pascuyaki, came in. He is a part of a nonprofit called the Native Music Coalition, which focuses on helping Native Americans discover self-identity by preserving their culture. I remember him saying, "What is Native American?" He then proceeded to talk about how we don't have to look Native American to be Native American. It is just a part of you. I thought this was important because, like I said, my mom is 50% Native, my grandparents had split from the Tewa Pueblo tribe and became a part of an unrecognized tribe. We never sought out more information because the tribe is unrecognized. When Vince came in and spoke about what it means to be Native, it made me realize that although I'm not Native in the same sense as someone who knows their background, it is a part of me. When people ask me my ethnicity, I just tell them that I am white and I always get confused looks. Is the easiest ethnicity for me to say, especially since I do not feel Spanish enough to say Spanish or Native enough to say Native American. From Vince, I learned that it is okay to tell people I'm Native American, Spanish, and Caucasian, and that is who I am whether or not I feel accepted by them. There will be a place for me regardless of my ethnicity and in turn a sense of belonging. In conclusion, I learned a lot from Native SOAR. In terms of being a mentor, I learned that listening matters. Being present and showing up makes all the difference in how someone views their life and what they decide to do with it. It also taught me that you are capable of anything. Going into mentoring, I was fearful and uncertain. Now that I have done it, I realize that I have nothing to be afraid of. You can do anything you put your mind to. Mistakes are inevitable, but they help you grow. The last thing I learned was the importance of community or a sense of belonging. Having people around you that can relate to you or just care about you can change your perspective, make things easier for you, and even change the trajectory of your life. I'm glad that I was able to be a part of Native SOAR. Although the goal was to share my knowledge with others, I ended up receiving knowledge of much more value that I will take with me for the rest of my life.